To this, I want to support the report from the onset and also congratulate the chair, Mheshimiwa Fatuma. You've done very well. I must congratulate you for doing this, and you have presented it in a very good way. That is why we are here to support you and continue with that spirit, because for some of us, the sky is the beginning. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, this report is what Kenya needs today, putting into consideration the many challenges that our country has gone through. And especially when we know very well that this report covers the area that most of us belong to, and especially women reps, because special funds, the women fund, the youth, and everything, and people living with disability, the affirmative action. This is all under us. And many are the times that some of us cannot even know, do not even know how to get access and how to help our people to get access to these funds. Mr. Speaker, the report has brought out the weaknesses, the challenges that has been there. And if we put in order all this, and if this report gets the attention that it deserves today, then we are sure that a lot of transformation will take place, some things will change, and we will be able to overcome the challenges. Mr. Speaker, the report speaks about equalization fund. The report speaks about women enterprise funds, strategic food reserve. And when we look at ourselves today, Kenya does not have food. We are importing food. And just some few months ago, many of us were in crisis because we couldn't get enough food even to feed our people. If this particular strategic food reserve trust fund is taken care of and well utilized, I know very well that we wouldn't be where we were just before the rains. Mr. Speaker, when you look at Women Enterprise Fund, a lot of mismanagement has taken place. Women who needed to do business in all this have suffered because they cannot access the funds that are there. Sometimes it is the rich who get the money and enrich themselves. The poor who would have been uplifted and who would have reduced the poverty levels in their lives are still there struggling. We are talking of youth enterprise funds. Today in Kenya, we know that many of our young people are not employed. We have graduates in our homes. We have people who have first class, second class, and who are not employed. Some of them have gone into depression and they cannot support themselves. Some are at the age of starting their own families, but because of the financial constraints, they cannot even imagine of having a girlfriend, live about marrying a lady. Mr. Speaker, if all these funds were well utilized, the idea of Kenya, or what we have been crying about, at saying we are reducing poverty, and we want to overcome poverty in our counties and in our villages and in our society, this would have served a very good purpose. This would have helped us to reduce the poverty level of our people. But we have not been good stewards. And that is why today we can see that the report, the committee observed so many things, that there are late submissions of accounting documentation. And the question is why? If we have qualified people in the office, why would we have that problem? They should have reported, they should have placed everything in place and cited the gaps that are there so that those gaps can be sealed and we move on. A lot of negligence has happened in the past, and people have not been good stewards of the resources that God has put in our hands. And that is why today, many Kenyans who would have benefited from this are still suffering. Failure by accounting officers to submit the necessary documents. If they have failed to do their work, the question I ask today is, again, why would they be in those offices if they cannot do their work? They have their job description, but if they cannot do just that particular one, and matters to do with finance, matters money, is very sensitive. Mr. Speaker, we know very well that if you are not even careful with handling your own cash, you will end up being a poor person. And this country has gone to the levels that we are today just because we have wrong people in the offices and wrong people doing the job that they should have done. I want to speak about civil servants housing scheme. Mr. Speaker, this is something that would have transformed the lives of civil servants. But unfortunately, many of our civil servants today who have retired, you know, when they are in Nairobi or they are in the small cities, they can be able to rent somewhere. But after they retire, they have nowhere to lay their heads. And that is why many of them are depressed. Some of them die before their days. If we can put this into place, then many of our civil servants will just go home rejoicing and smiling. Thanks be to Kenya Kwanza government. And we are giving a lot of attention to housing, affordable housing, whereby our civil servants will be able to buy a house at a very affordable rate or price. And they will be able to pay even before they retire. That means that we are taking care of even their retirement age. They will work, they will serve the government, but when they retire, they'll have peaceful time. Mr. Speaker, a lot of funds have gone into waste. People have not benefited. And I want to suggest the following: that proper audit be done in all these different schemes so that we know the number of Kenyans who have benefited, so that we do a proper audit and know how many women have benefited from this. And we want to see the face of Kenya. Some of our women have not even gone to school. They are illiterate or semi-illiterate. And again, thanks be to Kenya Kwanza government that has introduced the Hustler Fund. Today, even a poor woman in the village can just use her phone and get the money. We were in Sagana the other day, and somebody said that the people of Jerry around that area are doing very well in borrowing the money and transforming their lives. That is what we want to see, because in every home there is one educated child, and through their phones, because now the procedures, you know, the board has to sit, the committee has to sit, this person has to approve. Those things are not there with the Hustler Fund. They can easily access the money, and that is why I want to encourage Kenyans today. Please make use of this opportunity. The funds are there, the money is there. Please borrow the money, do businesses, see what you can do so that you can change your life. Mr. Speaker, we are all agents of change. But unfortunately, many of us are not using even the opportunity that God has given us to educate our people. Civic education is very important. How to do business, how we can help our young people, the women, and especially when a woman is empowered, you have empowered the entire society. So I encourage many women, young people who are just sitting in their homes, having their certificates in their homes, please access these funds, do business, transform your lives so that we can have a better society and a better country, a healthy society, so that we can even take care of our families in a better way. Thank you, and I support the report.
Thank you, Dr. Naumi Wako. I didn't know we have something called Civil Servants Housing Scheme Fund. I'm hearing it from the